Hey, what's going on? All right, so what we're going to work on today is we're going to work on create drawing number 6. So that's the drawing that we're going to go through here in the first video. And then once we get the drawing done, we're going to move on to exercise number 7 in the lathe turning part of the book. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's get our geometry created, get our working file going, and all of the other good stuff that we like to do as a routine here. So let's take a look at the part first. Here's our part. And basically what we see is, obviously it's going to be 5 inches in overall length, and the largest diameter is going to be 3 1/4. Just like I have been on the other videos, I'm going to use parallel lines to create kind of a grid for everything. What I will do is I'm going to kind of save myself a little bit of confusion on what needs to trim and what's not. I'm going to create the lines to create the outer profile first, and then once I get it all trimmed and done where it needs to be, then I'll recreate some additional lines to create this inner profile. So let's go ahead and get started here. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a save as. I'm going to go into my completed drawings, and this is going to be completed drawing number 6. So I'll go ahead and get that saved. And then I'll create my level. It's going to be my wireframe geometry. And I'll set my planes to D plus Z plus. So make that my active plane. There you see it's active. Okay, and then I'll start doing my drawing. So first thing I'll do is I'll draw my line down the center here, and the overall part length was 5 inches. And then I'm going to draw a line from the face out here to represent the largest diameter, which is 3.25 divided by 2, since we're dealing with the radius. And now lines parallel to create the rest of these. So we'll create our outermost diameter. Then this next step coming in is 2.25 divided by 2. And then looks like the next one going down. Looking at our diameters here on our print, 1.5 divided by 2. And then the very next one's just that recessed groove. So we will create that. That's going to be 1.2 divided by 2. Okay. So these are all of our profiles here. Now we can create the horizontals. So the first one's coming straight back, 1.5. Then we've got another one coming straight back. This one's going to be 2.03. We got one coming back 3 inches. And then the last one coming back, this one's going to be 4.03. So 4 inches and 30 thou. And my dog's barking at the neighbors, it sounds like. Okay. So this is our grid basically to create the outer profile of the part. So let's go ahead and look at it and do our trimming. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of trimming here. So obviously this step can be trimmed out. Trim back to here. All of this all the way through can be trimmed. Okay. And then we can look at what we can do next. Obviously this can be trimmed out right here. Then we have our, let's see here, we need a line from here to here basically, looks like. So we'll create a line going from here to right here, which is the top of that recess groove here. And then we need another line to represent that angle. So we're going to draw a line down across. And I'm going to type 180 plus, looks like 31 degrees. So I'm typing 180 plus 31 to put that line in there. Okay. So now we can trim all of this out. Okay, all of this can go bye-bye. And there we go. There's the outer profile. All we got left to do is put the radius in this corner. So we'll do our 0.25 radius right here. Okay, And that's the outer profile. So a couple little quick checks just to make sure things are where they're supposed to be. Looks like that's negative 2.03, looks good. The top of this is supposed to be a negative 1.5, looks good. This diameter here should be good. Okay, everything looks good, 1.2. All right, now let's do the inner profile here. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is another line parallel. And the largest part of that hole is 1 inch, so 1 divided by 2. There's this one. And then the next one is 0.75 divided by 2. Okay. And then after that, we can go ahead and create our horizontal lines, or vertical lines here. So this first one's coming back 1.5. Okay. And then we've got another one coming back. This one's coming back 2.75. Okay, we'll place that one. Alright, so from the 1 inch line right here coming down, we've got this angle at 9.5 degrees. So I'm going to draw a line from here down across here. And then on the angle, I'm going to do 180 plus 9.5 to put the angle in. Okay, and there's our angle. Almost didn't make the line long enough. I make it just a little bit longer, that way I can trim that easier. And there's this. And then we've got another one that's coming off of this point here down across the center. Okay, and basically this is going to be, it's a 118 degree included angle. So we're going to do 118 divided by 2. So 59, but we want to add that 180 plus 59. That way it sends it in the correct direction. So 239 is the angle that's coming down there. Okay, now we can trim out the center areas. So we know this part's going away. We can trim this. And there is the inside profile of this part. Okay. All right. So we can take a look at a couple things here just to verify. Negative 2.75 on our Z. Negative 1.5 right here. Got our angle going down 9.5 degrees. Looks good. Should be good to go. Okay. Now we can create a new level. Level 2. Solid model. And we will go ahead and do the profile of this part. So we'll do a solid revolve. We'll select this whole part. Use this as our axis. And there is our workpiece. Okay. The last thing, but not least, is to double check and make sure that we did everything correct. So dimension wireframe, or geometry, I guess we could call it. Stay in that same line of naming things. I'm going to select the model. I'm going to do the wireframe, turn profile. I'm going to do the full profile. That way I get the entire part. And now I'm going to dimension it to make sure that everything is apples to apples like it's supposed to be. So I'm going to start, just kind of down here. Oops. Let's actually go from here to here. 3.25 looks good. From here to here, 2.25 looks good. Okay, let's double check some of our other geometry while we're out here. We can check our 0.25, looks good there. Then we can start working on these diameters in here. 0.75, 1 inch. There's not quite enough room to get that inside there, so we'll just have to leave it offset a little bit. Okay. Alright, Go ahead and check the rest of these. 1.2 looks good. 1.5 looks good. And that should be all of our diameters there. Okay. Now we can check our lengths. It's supposed to be basically 3 inches back to here. We'll get that. There we go. Had to just figure out where to put it to get it to snap to the 3-inch horizontal measurement. Okay, now we need the measurement from here to here, 2.30. Here to here, 1.5. From here to here, 1.5. And then we'll double check our length from here to here. There it was. Come on. Just want to give us that angular. I want it to be a horizontal. There we go. I went up here and clicked horizontal off the auto and it went to it for me. So 2.75. There we go. Okay. Other than that, I think we're good to go. Pretty much, we could double check 4.3 or 4-inch 30 thou. We got our 3-inch, got our 2.75. Everything's good. All of our numbers are good. We can check our angles. So, we can pick on our angle here. Oops. Make sure this is 118. Looks good. We can double check our line to here. 31 degrees. That looks good. Here you can see it. Just kind of getting it in there. It's kind of hard. There's not much room in here. You're kind of overlapping each other. And then, last but not least, we'll check our line here. There's our 9.5 degrees. Okay. Alright. So, everything looks good. Dimensions all work out. So, I'm going to hit save. And this part is ready to move forward to toolpathing. So that's what we will do next.